Due to the strength of the Benko Gambit accepted, most top players prefer to find some way to decline the gambit. In the past few years, several dangerous systems have been developed, and black must be on the ball if he wants to emerge with a good game. After 1 d4, knight f6, 2 c4, c5, 3 d5, b5, I'll first consider the variations where white plays 4 knight f3. We then move on with 4 c takes b5, a6, to consider the trendy variation with 5 f3. After that, we'll be looking at the moves 5 e3, followed by the Zaitsev variation, that's 5 knight c3, and finally another topical move, 5 b6. At the end of all this, I'll consider a few odds and ends to complete the options at white's disposal. Here is the position after black's third move, b5, and white may now try 4 knight f3, declining the gambit. 10 years ago this method was extremely popular with the Grandmaster fraternity. It's less seen nowadays, but black must still be vigilant. White finds a sensible developing move, and if black takes on c4 now, b takes c4, white plays knight c3, getting on with development and threatening e4. I don't feel that black should be as cooperative as that, and I've decided that black's best move after knight f3 is probably the advance b5 to b4. Now this does a number of things, but by and large the most important thing that it does is to stop white's knight from coming out to its optimum square c3. Black's plan, roughly speaking, is d6, g6, bishop g7 and castles in typical Benko Gambit style, when he has a number of plans at his disposal. One plan might be just to punt the a pawn down the board, a5, a4, a3. Of course no white player should allow such an advance, but I have seen it happen. Another black plan is to block the centre with e5, and then to actually get a kingside attack going with knight h5 or knight e8, followed by the advance of the f-pawn. It looks more like a King's Indian than a Benko. In each case, the pawn at b4 fulfills a valuable function. It drives a wedge into white's position, and white must try and break up black's pressure on the queen side if he wants to get a decent game. One of the most disruptive things that white can play in this position is 5 a3. We'll now follow the game Peterson versus Albert, New York City 1985, when black just got on with development, ignoring the fact that white was attacking b4 by playing g6. I like this move, it's logical and it's easy to play. White takes on b4, a takes b4, and black just recaptures, c takes b4. Peterson played knight bd2, bishop g7, e4, and black castled. Now obviously this is a very provocative play by black, because black is actually allowing white to advance his e-pawn, that's e4, e5. Peterson declined this offer because he probably felt that after knight e8, followed by d6, white was in severe danger of getting overextended. And that's perhaps the biggest danger that faces white in this variation, the danger of overextension. Another move along the same lines as e5 is the move c5. But I don't trust that sort of move. I tell you why, because white's getting further and further behind in development. It follows, if black is ahead in development, then he should open up the game. And the right way to do this is to play 9 e6, putting white's centre under tremendous pressure. Now actually Margia Pettersson from Iceland is a tremendous positional player, I know him well, and he wouldn't choose